Bruce Theory here to talk about the aftermath to knockout chaos. Yo,
You should just
I
restart.
just like it's a live stream, but I like to watch a lot of people's reactions. As I caught Boxing Wave. Shout out to him. Of course, I caught Andrew Tucker. I caught Counterpunch Boxing News. Kurt caught True Gordy, who was definitely rooting for Francis Ngannou, and he admitted it at least. I caught Daniel Cormier, Israel Asanya. He said something very cool that I liked. He said, "Sometimes you're the hammer, sometimes you're the nail," and that was definitely true of that fight yesterday. You know what I mean? So, and my hair's looking kind of rough there. uh, yeah, this might be a hat day. Where's a hat?
What kind of
Put
hat
on
do
this
you
hat
have?
right here. There we go. Hair's looking kind of rough. But what's next for Francis Ngannou? A lot of people say they don't want to see him fight no more. I want to see him box. You know, people write you off after one loss. AJ gave him a motivational speech, told him to stay in the sport, which he should. You know, there's a lot of money to be made, and you know, a lot of the greats have been knocked out. Who hasn't been knocked out? Mike Tyson's been knocked out. Lennox Lewis has been knocked out. Evander Holyfield. So it's part of the sport. And now he sees there's levels to this. And I kind of felt sorry for Ngannou when he was at the post fight press conference. And there was a dude in the audience like freestyling or something. And AJ was going along with it. And they're like getting into the music. And Ngannou was sitting there looking like, oh man, this is awkward. But knockout chaos. To me, the Zhang Parker fight, which a lot of people were looking forward to, I thought it was disappointing. Zhang just walked around doing this, get hit, do this. I'm like, you got to do more than that, man. You got to do more than that. And Joseph Parker was, I think was, his movement was throwing Zhang off. He didn't really know how to adapt yet. Zhang said before the fight he already knew what Parker was going to do before did it. Apparently, that wasn't true at all. So, you know, what's next for Zhang? He knows the odds are against him because they already, to me, he beat Hergovich, but, you know, he wasn't, I guess, marketable because of his age, 40. So, you know, he's already got that working against him. So, anytime he has a big fight, he should try to capitalize off of it and make the most of it so they don't try to turn him into a gatekeeper. But Joseph Parker and Anthony Joshua are at the top of their game. Tyson Fury, the Furies got up out of Dodge like they had warrants. It's like once the knockout happened, they're like, oh, where's the exit? I'm trying to see these comments. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Gotta read the comments. Where is it? Where the comments it says connected, so why can I not read it? Technology. I was having technical issues yesterday, and I guess I'm having technical issues today. Where's it? It says look successful. Let me try to go out and come back in, see if that'll make a difference. Comments, please. Where are they? Okay. Let me just try to read it. Wilder, I got him winning by knockout. Winning the knockouts, Wilder. Let's go. They blackballing. Yeah, man. Yeah, Zhang. He's got to take advantage of his opportunities because, like I said, he's got a lot working against him. I think that's why he's starting to talk more trash because he's trying to market himself. He knows once you reach a certain age, they start trying to blackball you. But if Zhang keeps knocking people out, they can't hold him back. But I don't even want to see a rematch with him and Joseph Parker. It was that kind of a dull fight. I thought he was going to do more, especially when he got the knockdowns. But it's like he just kept relying on his power, and Parker wasn't having it. I don't know why I can't see the comments on the screen. What is the problem? YouTube? With Joseph Parker, one of the nicest guys in the sport. He and AJ are cool. AJ and Parker both have the best resumes in the heavyweight division. They both fought Andy Ruiz. I thought Ruiz beat Parker, kind of a hometown decision, a lot of people think. I saw Parker's been in there with Dillian White, Joe Joyce, Deontay Wilder. Who else? It's pretty much the top guys in the division. AJ, Povetkin, Pulev, Klitschko. Dillian White was supposed to be twice. Usyk and Francis Ngannou. A lot of people were shocked because they'd never seen Francis Ngannou hurt, let alone stopped, and he got dropped 3 times in 2 rounds. It's like AJ just had no, I don't want to say fear, but no concern from the incoming. He just went like when Francis got up that second time, AJ just came out and went, pow, walked away like, what y'all expect? Good night. I love how AJ did it like, like, what would you guys think was going to happen? He just walked away like, all right, it's been nice. But, Francis Ngannou looked so dejected at the end of the fight that it's going to take him a while to get that confidence back. He's probably going to go back to the PFL. I keep hearing whispers of he and Wilder having a fight, which I think is bad, kind of. Well, I don't know. I picked Ngannou to beat Wilder because of the weight, and I know Deontay has trouble with guys that weigh a lot and clinch him and stuff like that. But seeing how Ngannou responded to that right from Anthony Joshua, Wilder might have a chance at knocking Ngannou out if he hits him with that right. So I think if Ngannou wants to continue his boxing career, he just has to start it at a much lower level. You can't go for the top guns. You got to go for, the who's who, some new guy coming up. Somebody that's not too good, but somebody that's not too bad that won't make you look like a scrub. But Francis Ngannou took it like a G. I saw an interview today where he was basically saying almost like he knew he was going to lose, like he just could feel he didn't have it that day. And I was like, I thought he looked a little bit shook right before the bell sounded in the corner, but it seemed like when you get your first blow, you kind of like adapt to the situation. But this is only a second pro fight. He's had many MMA fights, but under the boxing lights is totally different. I was watching the Daniel Cormier reaction. He was watching it with, forget his name, Anthony something, and this other dude. And they were talking about how Daniel Cormier even mentioned it, how boxers punch different, how they turn it over. And the Anthony dude was saying how he's never been hit harder when he sparred than when he was hit by a boxer. Because all boxers have is these. They don't do the kicks and the elbows and the knees. So all they have is these, and they know how to hit you hard, where to hit you, when to hit you. They know the vulnerable spots a lot of times because they've been hit there. So they, like if I don't like it on the temple, then I'm gonna hit dude on the temple because I know he's not gonna respond well to it. But are we gonna have a knockout chaos too? And if we do, who would y'all like to see on it? It was cool to go live yesterday for the event. The minute the fight was announced, I was really looking forward to it, waiting to see this fight for a minute. A lot of people were talking about Ngannou didn't deserve it. Whether he deserved it or not, y'all was watching and watching in big numbers. So I don't really want to hear it. And all you folks talking about Jake Paul's going to beat Mike Tyson because he'll be 58. Are you guys smoking ganja and hitting the acid? Ain't no way Jake Paul is beating Mike Tyson. Y'all really believe in this nonsense? And he's not taking a dive. Mike's not built like that. Mike will knock Jake Paul's head clean off his shoulders. You heard it here first. If the fight happens, it's supposed to be weighed July 20th, so that's a lot of time for injury and somebody to pull out, and I don't know how they're going to work out the weight difference. Mike's at least 230, 235. Jake Paul weighed in at 199, so I don't know. I can't see Mike dropping that much weight, and I can't see Jake moving up to. Jake maybe will come in probably if he decides to put on weight, which I think he'll have to. He'll have to come in around 210 or 215 to even stand a chance. But I think Mike just jumping on him, trying to get it over with quickly. I think. Now I can see the chats. Special K says no dive from Tyson. I'm waiting for it to move up. No dive from Tyson, but I think he would sign a no knockout clause. I hope not, man, because I don't want to see any more. I don't want to see no more exhibitions. The Roy Jones Tyson fight was a huge disappointment. The Roy Jones Indio Champ fight was like something from another galaxy. It was like some computerized. I don't know what that was. I did a video on it on my backup platform in WJ. Them dudes are just like tapping each other, and it was like all types of CGI. I was like, what is this garbage? So no more exhibitions. I don't want to see no funny business. I want to see a real fight where Jake Paul doesn't have any funny business going on. If you're going to fight Mike Tyson, fight him on the up and up. Don't fight him, hey man, can you act like you're hurt when I connect? The Blue Baron, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. Special K, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. Just talking a little boxing, all the stuff that happened last night. Shout out to the Pugilism Planet. A lot of people were saying that they thought Ball beat Vargas. I thought Vargas might have edged it out. The fight was a draw. I thought Vargas was definitely landing the better body shots in the first half of the fight. Second half of the fight, Ball just took over, kind of, he started trying to bully him with his power. I don't know who won the Roman Fury fight because I was having some technical issues, so I'm going to have to go back and check who won that fight. But knockout chaos, the end result lived up to the hype. You only got 2 rounds, but I thought maybe Francis would go a little bit longer, but I did predict he would get knocked out by Anthony AJ Joshua. Francis Ngannou isn't used to losing, so that can be hard on the mind. You start questioning yourself. He said, Black Boy 82 Rob said, shout out to you, man. He said Vargas was running a track meet. Yeah, he was. That dude was running around the ring. I'm like, man, he's losing his legs too, because every time Ball put his weight on him, he was like, oh, it fall to the canvas. Special Case says, sounds like we may get Joshua versus Hrgovic next. That will be a war. Yeah, because Joshua, he's going to have to have a fight in the meantime because Fury and Usyk have 2 fights coming up. That'll be a war. People still sleeping on Hrgovic, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm actually not a big Hrgovic guy just because he hasn't done anything really that like stood out to me, but I could be wrong. King Slender in the building. Ngannou still in the fog, glaring into space as you speak. Yeah, man. He you could tell after that second knockdown the way he got up, it could have been stopped right there. I think AJ saw that. That's why he didn't even try to set up the right. He just came in and just went, good night. Two fingers, he didn't even try to set that up. So yeah. Teddy Brooks shot in the building, came to drop a like and leave. Oh, what's up, Teddy Ted? You got to go handle some business. No harm, no foul, man. Thanks for dropping through. Thanks for dropping through. The Blue Baron, Special K, King Slender, and Teddy Ted. Appreciate y'all. Um, but and now they're talking about Manny Pacquiao versus Conor Ben. And I keep saying Conor Ben is up there talking about, yeah, I'm gonna give the people what they want. When did we ask for you to fight Manny Pacquiao? Dude's been retired for I don't know how long. Why is there no American top heavyweights? That's a good question, Blue Baron. I think it's because America has gotten completely soft. They like the easy road. It's a microwave society. They want it fast. They want it now. In boxing, most boxers start off at a very young age. People keep saying AJ's been fighting his whole life. Nah, he started way late for boxers. So I think it's kind of good to start not too young. You don't want to get burnt out because you just get hit in the head mainly. You don't want to get some type of damage. But I think too, there's a lot of team sports in America, and a lot of the bigger guys go to the NFL or the NBA. There's some ex NFL players now boxing like Le'Veon Bell, Ocho Cinco, Chad Johnson. So, what's his name was talking about boxing too. I forget his name, but yeah, I think that's the case. Though America's gotten soft, and these dudes from the UK are making us look pretty bad right now. King Slender says you got to get Sonny Cordo on here, heavyweight from Philly. I'm gonna have to check him out. I don't know any of his fights. Hopefully he can restore some dignity back to the states. The Blue Baron says, yeah, but there's loads of British heavyweights and they're the same culture. Yeah, the Brits are kind of, boxing started over there and there it looks like they're finishing it right now. Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua. I even like Wardley. I think he's going to be a pretty good, great fighter. He made Adelaide look like he had no business in the ring. Um, Stallion, what's up, man? He said AJ is king now. Yeah, absolutely, man. AJ made a statement. He made a statement. Definitely. Special K says no American heavyweights because you haven't had any influential champions for a long time. Wilder turned people off. Yeah, Wilder turned me off. I was never a Wilder guy. It seemed like he's into some dark stuff and some weird stuff. Dude smoking ayahuasca. If you know, I say it and I say it and I say it. You can't live wild outside the ring and expect to be champion, at least not for long. Stallion says Fury Usyk on decline. Fury. Yeah, Usyk didn't look all that great against Dubois, I thought he had his acting chops going when Dubois hit him in the body. He just stayed down there. And then even the ref was like, how much time do you need? Like, I bet on you, so go ahead and take a nap. The Blue Baron says America has that youngster. I can't remember his name. Let me know if you think of it. Stallion says he's made a statement in his last 3 fights where others ain't. I'm very impressed in Parker, to be honest, but he's too light. Needs another 5 to 10 kgs on. Yeah, yeah, you might be right about that. He can definitely hold the weight. He's 6'4". He can hold the weight. But I think he's okay around 247, 245. The Blue Baron says big baby. Are you talking about Jared Anderson? He seems to have some mental issues going on right now. He just, I hate to get in people's personal lives, but he just got in a high speed car chase and arrested. And you saw him have that nervous breakdown with Roy Jones. Like he couldn't handle the moment. I was like, oh man, you sure you want to do this on camera right now? I had high hopes for Jared Anderson. Tyson Fury was talking about how well he sparred when they was when Fury was getting ready for Deontay Wilder in the third fight. But if you're not there mentally, the body's gonna follow. It's like he just seems like he got a lot going on, and maybe he needs to take a break and come back. Black Boy 82 Rob 313 says boxing is the only sport you can't see the score until after the fight is over. I don't like it. I want to see all three judges' scorecard round by round. That's a good point. They need to add some instant replay too. The Blue Baron, yeah, why do that on camera? Yeah, I thought that was, if I was fighting Jared Anderson, I'd just keep watching that, be like, oh, he's weak mentally. Just attack him and he's going to fold. Special cases, Anderson has some wannabe gangster issues. Yeah, he's hanging with the wrong crew. Absolutely. I think Kurt, shout out to Kurt, Counterpunch Boxing News, he was saying something similar. It's like he wants to be this street dude. I think he even came into the ring once like he was in cuffs. I'm like, that's not a good message. Stallion, Big Bang was made to bang average last night. His boxing ability very limited. And Ngannou should never been in top 10 records. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, Bang looked very average. He had no answers. And Ngannou, he's going to have to find a way to get his confidence back. Last one, shout out to you. He says, do you think AJ could beat Usyk the third time now? He has some fire in him. Yeah, with Ben Davison, yeah, absolutely. I did a video last night saying, is Ben Davison and Anthony Joshua the new Tom Brady, Bill Belichick of boxing? Because Ben Davison's a genius. He even talked about how the NFL coaches will study film, and he loves that. So, yeah. King Slender, I don't know if I can, but I'll try and get in touch with Sonny Conto's father. I talked to him years ago before Conto turned pro. He's a cool dude. Yeah, hook that up and then holler at me. Yeah, man, I'd love to check out his career. Terry Harrell, Joshua has an entire team, including himself, ready. Yeah, man. Sometimes you just mesh. Yeah, Click Clack says nope. Laugh out loud. What's up? Yeah, Click Clack, one of the OG subscribers. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you, Terry Harrell. The Blue Baron says, I think a lot of young African Americans think they've got to act a certain way. Yeah, it's sad. It's like they listen to this new garbage music coming out and like, oh, that's how we're supposed to act. It's silly, man. Then when he ends up in jail, he'll look back like, what was I doing? Like they say, hindsight is 20/20, but usually it's too late by then. Yeah, Click Clack says Joshua isn't beating Usyk, dude. I don't know. Daniel Dubois had him on the canvas from a body shot. So if AJ, and Fury told AJ to go to the body when he fought Usyk the second time, he just didn't listen. Stallion says Ben Davidson had Fury fighting the best, but his family belittled Davison. Wouldn't be funny if that hits him in the form of AJ on Fury. Yeah, man. Yeah, I often wonder when AJ fights Fury where Ben's going, because I don't want to see AJ and Ben part ways. Yeah, Click Clack. What's up, Jay Russo? What's up to you, man? Hope everything's going well. Special case that Usyk is a blown-up cruiser, and at his age, he's well past prime. He's aging rapidly. I hope he beats Fury, then retires with all the glory. Yeah, I think because Usyk stays in the gym so much, he maybe he should just take a little bit of time to not get beat on. It's okay to stay working out, but constant sparring can wear you down. But he always comes in great shape. It's just the wear and tear on the brain. Yeah, Click Clack says Ben Davison had Fury going to a draw with Wilder. Yeah, I say Fury won that fight to be perfectly clear. Yeah, Fury won that. I don't see how Deontay could get two knockdowns and all of a sudden it was a draw. King Slender 2.0. I got Joshua in the third fight. So do I. I think this new Joshua was scary, man. This current Joshua fight and this current Deontay Wilder, Deontay is done. I always said he would beat him anyway, but he really beat him now. The Blue Baron, that Usyk low blow call was, yeah, that was some nonsense, wasn't it? Right on the belt. That was not a low blow. And it kind of discouraged Daniel. And I think that's why he just went down from a jab after that. He's like, you know what? Because he was fighting the ref, the crowd, ESPN. He didn't know this, but ESPN was only, when they'd replay it, they'd only show Usyk's work. They wouldn't show none of the work that Daniel Dubois was doing. I was like, wow, they really want Usyk to pull this out. The Blue Baron says, if Fury beats Usyk and Joshua, do you think he'll be one of the greatest? Oh, absolutely. Yeah, if he pulls that off, yeah, there's no, you can't. I still think Fury is great. I don't know if he's an all-time great yet. That remains to be seen, but I think he'll be around for a while, so we'll know. Yeah, Click Clack says he just beat an MMA fighter with no defense. Laugh out loud. Oh yeah, when Ngannou keeps switching to southpaw, I'm like, don't do that, man. The Blue Baron says this is a cool channel. You speak a lot of sense. Hey, I appreciate that, Blue Baron. Much love to you, man. I appreciate the love. I been watching boxing for a good minute, man. Stallion Coy, I hope I'm saying your last name right. Boxing politics, only way Dubois was winning. If they had 20 count that night, yeah, really. Yeah, he was fighting all kind of odds. He was fighting commissions, the crowd, the referee. That referee was the same ref that did the Usyk Joshua 2 fight. So that ref, he was doing some suspect things in that fight too. Yeah, Click Clack says, and Ngannou said these are the Fury punches. After that second one, he said, "Oh, these these is the real power." Yeah. Yeah, I think he noticed the difference, I think Fury hurt Ngannou. If you go back and watch that first round when he came out and hit him with a right, I thought Ngannou's legs looked a little funny for a tenth of a second, but I don't think Fury caught on to it. I think if he had sat down, he could have got pretty much maybe the same results. Terry Harrell says, I'm pretty sure AJ will be training for Usyk, not Fury. Yeah, I think the Saudis want Fury to win. I'd rather see Fury versus AJ. Even if Fury loses, I want to see Fury get in there with AJ. But I Ben Davison wants that rematch with Usyk. I think he wants to show how great of a trainer he is that he can have AJ adapt. The Blue Baron said, "Who's your favorite boxer of all time?" That would be Lennox Lewis. I got to meet him in 1997 at the Payback or Playback in Las Vegas when he fought Oliver McCall. Yeah, I like Lennox Lewis first time I saw him on Tuesday Night Fights, man. I like that calmness. I like calm fighters that don't do a lot of yapping. King Slender 2.0. What's the first fight? Oh man, that went by. Let me pull that back. It was the way he destroyed the MMA fighter with the so-called bulletproof chin, real power on display, and no gimmicky punch machine needed. Yeah. Refs played too important role of a fight. Watch Parker versus AJ again. The ref on the right never allowed Parker to. Yeah, I remember that to get going that night. Every time came close to landing something, getting spoiled. Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, that ref was doing a lot that night. I'm trying to read your quote. Oh man, I'm getting sorry if I'm missing some of these, y'all. Blue Baron says to this day, I still think I'm waiting for it to move up so I can read it. I don't know who Deontay's gonna fight next. I see him working in the camp with Mister Malik Scott, but Deontay always looks great on the pads doing the combos. He don't do it in the actual fight, but he's great with the combos in the ring. To this day, I still think Fury's gloves were tampered with in the second Wilder fight. Nah, man, I never bought into that because there's too many people looking at the gloves. There's commissions. There's the referees. In fact, Wilder's camp, if they check the gloves after, like Derek James did after the fight with Spencer Crawford, he checked the gloves, and if they had something wrong, they should have taken those to the commission. Be like, hey, look at this. Stallion Coy says Vargas fight last night, first knockdown wasn't a knockdown. I scored it a draw. If I was a judge, I'd give Vargas extra rounds there, here or there. Looking forward to the rematch. Yeah, I had Vargas edging it out by a little bit. He kind of faded in the second half. Ball's a tough guy, and Vargas was a tough guy. You can see why Vargas was a champion. He might need to work on his legs a little bit. Special K, Deontay should fight Frank. Hey, Hey, that's a pretty good matchup. Deontay against Franklin. I saw Franklin on his Instagram gave AJ a shout. He said, you show great power, but I was able to take it. See you again. I don't want to see a rematch again with Franklin. Franklin couldn't solve the equation, and all AJ did was jab him. Yep, Jay Roos on it. Thanks, yeah, click clack. Still waiting on you to start a channel, man. Along with King Slender. Y'all know the sport, the Blue Baron. Um, Waiting for the comment to move up. There's a big bar at the bottom of my screen that blocks these comments until it moves up. I haven't. Franklin did well against White and Joshua. Yeah, Franklin did well. A lot of people, in fact, in the UK thought that Franklin won that fight. You know. Yeah, click clack. Franklin on Miller next for Franklin on Miller next for Wilder. Yeah, yeah. Miller and Wilder would be great because they got that little beef going, and yeah, it's hard to say. I think Miller's working with Antonio Tarver. Shout out to Coach James Bashir. He was in the corner of Jarrell Miller that night of chaos. I mean, not no, Day of Reckoning. I got yours to watch, man. Yeah, man, but we need more quality channels, man. There's a lot of platforms out here that are just trash. Yeah, Special K. There's a lot of platforms out here still talking about Terrence Crawford cheated against Spence. Can you believe that? Special K, I thought Ball deserved the win in a close fight like that. I always favor the aggressor. A lot of judges do too, the guy that's moving forward. I think he just wasn't connecting with a lot of those lunging lefts. I don't know, but it could have gone either way. I wouldn't have been mad if they gave it to Ball or Vargas. I wasn't even mad at the draw. I kept saying I'd hate to be a judge in that fight. Stallion Coy, Usyk isn't unbeatable. Tony Bellews deluded. He called David Haye a fraud, then a few years later said Haye's one of the most powerful knockout artists in the heavyweight division. He says Usyk is unbeatable. Nah, nobody's unbeatable. People forget these are human beings just like us. Some days you feel like going to work, some days you don't. Some days you could take a punch, some days you can't. Some days you can lift 50 pounds. The other day you can lift it. Next time you try, but you're like, why does it feel heavier today? It's just part of being a human being. So everybody's beatable. Try it again. Everybody's beatable. Mike Tyson's beatable. Lennox Lewis was beatable. As long as you got blood pumping through your veins, you're beatable. Some guys are harder to beat than others because Lennox Lewis beat every man he ever faced. True, Jay Roos. Thank you. Yeah, click clack. Yeah, Lennox Lewis beat he's one of the few. I think he and Rocky Marciano never lost a fight. Lennox Lewis lost twice, but he avenged both losses. So, he beat every man he ever faced. The Blue Baron says the amount of belts in boxing is a massive issue. Hey, I couldn't agree more. We have trash fighters. Waiting for it to move up. Yeah, there's just way too many belts. Way too many belts. We have trash fighters calling themselves world champions. Do you with Mayweather? Do I think Mayweather was beatable? Yeah, Mayweather was beatable. I thought Oscar actually might have won that fight with him. It's just Mayweather's very hard to beat. He's beatable, but it's going to take a high ring IQ to do it. But yeah, there's too many belts. In fact, the WBO wasn't even a reputable belt back in the 90s. You had the WBO. People were like, oh, please. Stallion Coy says, same with Ngannou. He can't be rocked or dropped. Happens last night. I think he wasn't humble this time. Too confident. And how do you feel not having Mike Tyson in his corner this time played a part? Yeah, I wonder why Mike wasn't there. Maybe Mike kind of knew what was about to happen, but I think Ngannou was starting to feel himself too, the way he was talking to Fury. And I could tell he was kind of making an excuse to lose too, the way he said, what's his name, Ariel, whatever, asked him, why do you always have a little smirk on your face? He said, because I know that if I had these guys in MMA, they wouldn't stand a chance. So I'm like, is that going to be your excuse when you lose? Well, I'm new to boxing, but if I had him in the cage, so I'm like, I know Ben Davis and the way he studies fighters, he picked up on that. Special K says, I agree with your Lewis comment, and he is a great, but he knew he got lucky against Vitali. I was at that fight. People in the chat should watch that classic fight if they haven't seen it. Yeah, that was a dangerous fight, man. I was there. That's where I met Coach James Bashir. He was working in the Lewis camp. That was a dang. But I always thought Vitaly or Vitaly Klitschko was the better of the two Klitschkos. Vladimir, great. They're both great champions, but Vitaly had that weird style. Like he was awkward. He was almost like a stronger Klitschko almost. I mean, I said stronger Klitschko. He was almost like a stronger Usyk without bouncing around. You didn't know what was coming. Stallion Coy says true. Yeah, he says didn't think of that. Yeah, appreciate that. You guys got me thinking too. The Blue Baron says, and you got the WBA regular title. Trevor Bryan had it, calling himself world champion. Yeah, Trevor. I've never been a Trevor Bryan guy. Like I saw Dubois fight him. When you see a fighter that looks crazy, it's like your only profession is to train and you're not in shape. Like that says a lot about how serious you're taking your boxing career. King Slender 2.0, he realized how big AJ was at the weigh-in. All this talk about size, and Joshua's got a bigger neck and longer reach and 2 inches in height, package 250 plus, yeah, body. Yeah, I thought AJ didn't look no smaller than Ngannou, even though he had he was 20 pounds lighter, and AJ's neck is huge. But people just kept, man, Ngannou's so big. Yeah, he's big, but they're acting like he's making Joshua look like Julio Cesar Chavez, like he's in that weight class. Chad Perry, remember when Oliver McCall started crying? That was wild. Yeah, I was at that fight, man. We didn't know what was happening. I was recording the fight to go when I got home so I could see it. I was like, oh, that's what happened. We didn't know what we thought he was just quitting because he was walking around the ring like, what's going on? But yeah, he was having some issues, a mental breakdown, man. He should have never even been cleared for that fight. Lewis asked him years later, like, what was going on with you that night? And I forget what he told him, but yeah, Oliver McCall had a tough chin too, man. I think he was the first person to drop Mike Tyson in sparring. So shout out to Oliver McCall, man. Special K Hergovic equals son of Vitaly Klitschko, similar style. I just think he's not as busy. Vitaly would keep peppering you at weird moments. Hergovic will kind of fight in spurts, but I can kind of see what you're saying, though. I hadn't thought of that. Stallion says that cut was on par. Henry Cooper against Ali. Both were winning, but both got stopped by the ref. Nasty cuts. In the Ali versus Henry Cooper fight, they tried a shoelace and load Vaseline to stop it. Wow. I'm going to have to go back and watch that. Wow. Yeah, Ali had so many great fights, man. He had such presence about him. Just go back and watch all his funny moments with Howard Cosell, man. They are hilarious, man. They might have acted like they didn't like each other, but they were tight, man. Very tight. Howard Cosell and Muhammad Ali, man. I remember when Howard Cosell said something to Ali about look at him while he's talking, and he's like, look at you, I'll slap you. But, he's just playing around. Today, dudes talk trash. They got to hit below the belt. Ali kind of kept it playful. Jarrell Miller needs to learn some of that. He always goes way too far. The Blue Baron, McCall wasn't well. Yeah, McCall was, I think he was having some issues with some substances, if you know what I mean. Do you think late 80s Mike Tyson was beatable? He was beatable, but you had to have a good chin and survive the first onslaught. Mike Tyson said he had a lung condition. He said sometimes he'd run around the corner and be tired. So I never knew that till years later, but he said that's why he'd go in and try to get guys out of there so fast, because he didn't want to go to the later round. So that's why he come out just attacking. He's like, which makes sense. If you come out and attack a guy while he's cold, you can often get a stoppage. Because even if you don't hurt the guy, if you start swinging a lot and he's not swinging back, the ref will often wave it off. Stallion Coy says Zoo versus Keith Thurman. Who you got? I got Zoo all the way. I am not a Keith Thurman guy, man. calls himself Keith One Time Thurman. He has about one fight every 3 years, does too much talking, had the nerve to compare himself to Ali. And I'm like, really, dude? I'm sure no one in history will be talking about, that Keith Thurman was a lot like Ali. Man, if you don't stop Keith, like I said, I'd rather see Keith Sweat fight. Stallion Coy, very true. So does DeMarcus Corley have asthma? Corley nearly beat Mayweather. Rewatch that. I'm not even familiar with that fight. I'm gonna have to check that out. I might have seen it, just the name is not ringing a bell. I wondered, did AJ have asthma? I said this on a video. I saw him on an interview, and he was in the elevator. It looked like he did an inhaler. I was like, huh? I don't know. I don't know what that was. Because he's gone 12 rounds before. You just don't like his lisp. Laugh out loud. King Slender in the building. Yeah, there's a Stallion Coy says, yeah, good fight. Yeah, there's so many, just about any heavyweight fight with Burt Cooper, you're going to get action. Tommy Morrison, you'll get a lot of action. Burt Cooper versus Ray Mercer. Burt Cooper versus Evander Holyfield. Burt Cooper actually gave Holyfield a standing 8 count here in Atlanta, man. Burt Cooper was a tough guy, man. Tough guy. Shout out to Tim Witherspoon, former 2-time heavyweight champion. I got an interview with Tim on my platform. Just type in J. Roos, Tim Witherspoon, it'll pop up. Tim's a real nice guy too, by the way. The Blue Baron says Mike Tyson versus Michael Spinks was crazy. They looked like they were totally different. Well, yeah, weight classes. Yeah, they said Michael Spinks was scared in the locker room. I think, was it the referee or Michael Buffer said his pulse was like this, like he was just scared, silly. And the other guy was saying Mike Tyson was in the dressing room punching holes in the wall. Punching holes in the wall. I was like, okay, wow. Stallion says to get a boxing license, you do have to pass certain medical records, not just a brain scan and blood test, but as long the asthma is controlled, they will pass you for sure. Yeah, because Shannon Briggs had asthma, and he blamed his first loss on that when he was with Teddy Atlas. And Teddy left him. He's like, well, I didn't know anything about asthma. So Teddy just left Shannon Briggs. I think they're cool now, but back then Teddy didn't take no nonsense. Remember Teddy and Michael Moore's corner back then? Oh man, Teddy had some classic moments. I still miss Jim Lampley, Larry Merchant, and George Foreman. I miss that trio. When you saw them and heard their voices, you knew it was not just a boxing match, you had an event. And I think that's what DAZN is missing. They don't have any commentators with presence. Casual MMA fan, let me see, waiting for the comment to move up a little bit. I know y'all just seen Francis get knocked out cold. Yeah, man. Yeah, he tried his best, man. Shout out to Francis. You can never clown a guy for going for his dreams. I just knew he was in over his head with AJ. Shannon Briggs doesn't listen. Yeah, Shannon's got a lot of mouth. He's supposed to be fighting Rampage Jackson. They've been talking about this for years. I think they finally got it going, though. Special K says, DAZN's commentary is terrible, but I don't mind David Haye. Yeah, DAZN's commentary, they don't have no presence about them. Jim Lampley, somebody needs to hire Jim Lampley fast. David Haye got it right yesterday. He picked Joshua. I think this is the only time I've seen David Haye get a prediction right. I usually always go the opposite of what David Haye says, but he got it right yesterday. Stallion Coy, what's this nonsense with Manny Pac-Man fight? Yeah, fighting Conor Benn. What's that about? I think they want Conor Benn because he's looked kind of lackluster since he's come back. Casual MMA fan says 100. Shout out to you, man. Much respect. But yeah, Conor Benn, I think they're trying to get a big name on his resume because he hasn't looked too great since he's come back. I thought he was real good before, but they just want that name on their resume. So, but how good will it look? Manny hasn't fought in a while. Plus, what if he loses? Then it'll look really bad. Be like, Manny took that long out and came back and beat you? I picked Manny to beat Keith Thurman too. They thought I was crazy. I picked Crawford to stop Spence. They thought I was crazy. Picked Joshua to stop Ngannou. They thought I was crazy. You see where I'm going here? You see the pattern? I think Klitschko gave Shannon brain damage. Yeah, Klitschko beat that dude, man. He had him in the hospital. Shannon tore his bicep, said he didn't even get paid for that fight. So, yeah, he got hit in the pocketbooks and the chin that night. Yeah. Shannon, he didn't used to talk that much when he was younger. Now you can't shut the dude up. He's funny, though. I got to give it to him. If you ever want a good laugh, go watch James Toney going at it with Shannon Briggs. You will not stop laughing. Stallion says they want a big name of his card. Kind of reminds me of Amir Khan fighting an old Barrera. Yeah, they want a big name, so they'll pull some fighter from the past that everyone knows and try to build a reputation off him, which is it's not bad marketing, but I don't really know how you're gonna sell it. I mean, I'm not paying for that. It better be free. And even then, I might not watch it. The Blue Baron says Shannon had too much pride that fight. Should have quit. Yeah, he took a beating, man. He took a real beating. The Blue Baron says Shannon versus Lennox was an underrated fight. Yeah, man, I must have watched that fight 100 times. I like how Lennox was just staring him down at the beginning. He didn't even blink. That was a nice fight, man. I believe that was 1998. Chet Perry says AJ and Ngannou are two chiseled specimens. I'm trying to read the rest. I gotta figure out how to move this bar on my screen. Two chiseled specimens. They looked great. Wish it lasted longer. Yeah, man. You've never seen Ngannou or AJ out of shape, which shows they take their career seriously. Even when Ngannou had his little intermission from combat sports, when he allegedly was around 300 pounds, he still looked great. So, both them dudes, they come in looking great every time. Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson, these guys, Evander Holyfield, always in shape in the ring, as far as Tyson goes. Stallion says, got serious thing to mention. A few years ago, I spoke to Butterbean. He was scheduled to fight Mike Tyson, but Mike didn't want it. Came from Butterbean's mouth. He said it was contracted too. I saw an interview where Butterbean said he had a big fight coming up and he was in the best shape of his life. So it was against Mike Tyson. I wondered about that. I wonder why Mike, I don't know. Maybe Mike didn't take Butterbean seriously. Special case said Lennox said Shannon had the most power of all the fighters he faced. Yeah, I didn't know it 2 years later, but the great Emmanuel Stewart and Coach James Bashir said Lewis was out on his feet after that first round. He didn't really know where he was. I thought he was more off balance, but they said, nah, he was out of it when he came back to the corner. So they said something to him to get him back into the fight. But they had a bet too before the fight. Whoever lost had to cut their dreads, but Shannon was like, nah, I'm cool. King Slender says Ngannou got intimidated at the weigh-in. Joshua bigger neck and just looked through him. Yeah, Joshua wasn't even slightly intimidated. Everybody else was scared of Ngannou. Joshua was like, well, why? Like, he's not the only big heavyweight that I fought. And I fought guys with more experience on top of that. I tell you. The Blue Baron says Mike Tyson would have destroyed Butterbean. Yeah, absolutely. Butterbean had a lot of stage fights too. I remember on Tuesday Night Fights, and I've said this many times, the crowd would start yelling fix. They'd show the replay. You could clearly see he missed the guy, and the guy's just out. Like, okay. I don't think it was Butterbean's fault, but whoever was promoting it. And the announcers would try to keep talking over like they don't hear the crowd yelling fix. Like, nah, we hear that. Y'all didn't hit mute. But yeah, I'd fight Butterbean. There's a lot of guys I would fight. I'd fight Big Boy, the bodybuilder that was talking about fighting. I'd fight him. I'd fight all these dudes. Stallion says Clash of the KOs would have been a mad one to see. Clash of the KOs. Which fighters are you referring to with that? Puro, what's up? What's up to Puro? Shout out to you, man. Thanks for tuning in. Puro in the building, y'all. In the building. Special case says, surely we must be close to seeing Ruiz return to the ring. His shoulder was done back in October. Yeah, Ruiz has had a lot of time off, man. I don't know what that dude is doing. He looks like he's training, though, but he ain't had no fights. The Blue Baron says, do you think Mike Tyson versus Cliff ATN was fixed? It kind of had that look. Even Don King was talking about how ATN took his own mouthpiece out while he's on the ground, like he didn't even try to get up. Don King was like, who does that? It looked kind of suspect to me. I don't know. He did fall kind of like Ngannou did. So I think it was a real punch. I just think he wasn't too interested in getting up. So I don't know if ATN fixed it on himself or, if it was predestined or predetermined in the contract. Well, not in the contract. You wouldn't want that on paper. The Blue Baron, do you think Mike? Oh, that's the same question I just read. Tyson and Butterbean. Oh, okay, that's what you're talking about. Yeah, I think Tyson would have manhandled Butterbean. King Slender 2.0. Ruiz is sneaking in the Snickers factory after he stole the plant's blueprints. Yeah, he said that was his secret to being so good. The Blue Baron, Ruiz trains in my home city, San Diego, too, like Canelo. The Blue Baron, Clifford ATN, doing like 200 years in. Oh, he's in. I didn't know that. I know he had been in jail before. He's back. Wow. Whatever happened to Bruce Seldon? Remember him? That fight was real suspect. That dude got up and shook his head and did a little fake wobble so the ref would stop it. I was like, man, if you don't sit down, you ain't getting no Oscar tonight. Stallion says, I spoke to Duke once. Tommy Morrison, he told me he was contracted to fight lots of peeps, something to do with Don King about the failed blood test, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I seen a documentary on that. There was a lot of suspect stuff going on with that Tommy Morrison issue, man. Yeah, a lot of suspect stuff. And yeah, if you guys want to know what I'm talking about, go check out a documentary about Tommy Morrison's health. I think his fiance put it out. But I heard Morrison talking about that as well. Ada Ray, hope I'm saying your name right. What's up, man? I know who you are well. I just hope I'm saying your name right. Ada Ray Pennant, Anthony Joshua will become heavyweight champion again. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, this current AJ is scary, man. It's like a different guy. He's more scary than he was before. The Blue Baron says, yeah, for armed robbery. I thought, oh, man, armed robbery. What was he thinking? I always trip all these dudes with the armed robbery like they ain't got cameras everywhere. Got cameras everywhere, people's cell phones. Stallion Core says, that's correct. Yeah, man. So Cliff ATN, wow. I remember there's some rappers back in the early 90s, Steady B and Cool C. I think they got life in jail for trying to rob a bank, and someone got taken out, if you know what I mean. So I think one of them is on the roll for that. So it's like, man, you go from a rap career to that? That has to seem surreal. Did you rate Morris as a fighter? You mean Tommy Morrison? Yeah, I thought Tommy Morrison was a great fighter, man. One of the best left hooks ever. He just was, he didn't know how to adapt to the long reach of Lennox Lewis that night. He even went down from a jab. Stallion says Morrison was a good fighter. I just think he didn't take the serious fights serious. Look at Morrison versus Lewis. I commented on Lennox Lewis' post when he shared the fight. I said, you didn't beat the real Tommy. Yeah, I think that Tommy that he fought wasn't the dangerous Tommy. I think once Tommy got beat down by Ray Mercer, he was never the same. Although he did come back and give one of the best performances. Exciting fight would be Morrison versus Razor Ruddock. If you guys haven't seen that, go check that out. That's back and forth action. Morrison versus Razor Ruddock. Did you guys see that Razor Ruddock James Toney fight recently? Yeah, that was kind of funny. he liked what I said. If look at his conditioning in that fight, you know what I mean? Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't think that Morrison was still good when he fought Lewis, but he had started to decline, and yeah, that wasn't the same Morrison early on in his career. You know, it's hard to come back after that knockout he took from Ray Mercer. I think Ray Mercer said that's the hardest he had been hit though before he stopped Morrison. He said Morrison hit him harder, I think, than even Lewis did. You know, just Morrison got caught, kind of like Andy Ruiz. You know, Andy Ruiz. Anthony Joshua hurt Ruiz, and then Ruiz came back. Andy Ruiz has got to make. He's got to. Andy Ruiz has to get in the ring, dude. I don't know what this dude is doing. You just keep seeing posting pictures and training. Morrison was a hard drinking womanizer, and he never lived up to his potential. Starring in a Rocky movie was the beginning of the end. Yeah, I thought he did pretty good in Rocky Five too. It's a lot of people's least favorite Rocky, but I thought it was pretty good. But I found out through Frank Stallone that a lot of people didn't like Rocky Five simply because Rocky didn't get in the actual ring. He fought in the street. I thought, hey, that's cool. Gave it something different. Rocky was supposed to die at the end of that movie. Glad they didn't do that. Think they tested it in front of an audience and they didn't like it, so they're like, nah. So can you imagine that? We probably wouldn't even have any Creed movies. The Blue Baron says Morrison had that horrible loss to Ray Mercer where the ref let Mercer tee off on Tommy. Horrible to watch. Yeah, that is hard to watch. If you guys think the Ngannou knockout was hard to watch, go back and watch that fight. Boxing on the Edge, y'all go subscribe to that dude. He's a good dude. He's got one of the best boxing platforms on YouTube. He says, Roos, big up, brother. Yeah, big up to you, man. Big up. Boxing on the Edge, man. Did you see that knockout of Ngannou last night, man? That was bad. I said it would be easy work, but it was even easier than I thought. Like I said, go subscribe to Boxing on the Edge. He's got a lot of great content, and he's got hands himself. Stallion says, "What's your take with this Dubois boxing?" I said Dubois, Dubai boxing. It seems good for boxing because making big fights, but Las Vegas will always be the mecca of boxing and big fights. Yeah, man. I like it over there actually, just because they're making the fights happen, and I could actually hear the UK fans in the background, so it's cool. But I do prefer Vegas, just because that's what I'm used to. Oh. Boxing on the Edge says, "Yeah, man, sheesh, brutal. Yeah, that was brutal. Like the song, there's a reggae song called "The Whole World Is Brutal." Black Uhuru. Stallion Koi says Big Bang Zang reminds me of Evaluative last night. That's something I got to mention. Very static, but obviously better power. Yeah, I found out too. He drinks 2 gallons of water every day because he has a fear of being dehydrated, like he was in the Jerry Forrest fight. I think that slowed him down. I don't think you need no 2 ounces of water every day. I just don't think you need that much liquid in you. He's probably feeling it slosh around in his stomach as he was moving around. He looked like he was in okay shape. He really didn't look 291, but looks can be deceiving sometimes. Yeah, man, Boxing on the Edge. Shout out to you, man. I appreciate you tuning in. Thought I'd go live and talk about Knockout Chaos, the aftermath. Welcome to the aftermath. The Blue Baron says, says Ray Mercer looked shanked after. Waiting for the comments to move on. Ray Mercer looked shanked after what he did to Morrison. I think you mean Shock. Mercer is a good dude. Yeah, man. I thought I was going to get to meet Ray Mercer about a month ago. He's a part of a thing called Circle of Legends that I attended with my dude Viking Samurai. Shout out to him. He's got a fight tonight. on Celebrity Boxing. He's the main event. Viking Samurai. I might live stream it if I can find out where to watch it, but Mercer couldn't make the trip, but I really wanted to meet him. Mercer, one of the toughest chins. Mercer was just a tough dude. I think to this day, he gave Lennox Lewis his toughest fight other than Klitschko. Mercer had Lewis really lumped up. King Slender water poisoning, it actually damages the cells and disrupts energy levels. But Zhang is 6'6" and 280 plus. I don't know. Yeah, you make a good point. Yeah, we've been taught drink 8 glasses of water, and that's nonsense. Drink when you're thirsty, or don't wait till you're thirsty. But you ain't got to pound down gallons of water. The Blue Baron, I've got to shop. Enjoy. I got to shop. Oh, thanks for coming in. Enjoyed the show. Peace. Shout out to you, Blue Baron. Enjoyed the questions and the comments, man. Come through anytime, man. I got to give you a wrench next time you come through. Make you a moderator. Stallion says, wow, didn't know that. Yeah, looked much slower last night. He didn't have to be 291 to beat Parker. The same Zhang who fought Joyce wins. Trying to read the rest. Who fought Joyce wins. He had a great jab in the fight. In this one, non-existent. Yeah, I noticed that. He was just walking around the whole night, like, and when Joseph Parker would connect, and then he had to act like, oh, that didn't hurt. It's like, that's not gonna win you the fight, man. You gotta let these go. Let these go. But yeah, shout out to my dude Viking Samurai. Main event tonight on Celebrity Boxing. I understand it's a 3-round fight, but my dude is blowing up. He's got 2 movies coming out. They're saying he's the next Jean-Claude Van Damme. The dude can kick somebody in the next week. Can even do the splits like Van Damme used to do it in the 80s. So shout out to my dude, Viking Samurai. I want to see that fight tonight. I want to live stream it. Go subscribe to him if you haven't. Go subscribe to Lennox Roos. Go subscribe to Boxing on the Edge, Andrew Tucker World, Counterpunch Boxing News, Tony's Reviews. Did I say Boxing Wave yet? Showbiz the Adult, as if he needs any more subscribers. Shout out to Showbiz. Shout out to Chris Jones from Pump Chasers. Me and him had a lot of conversations. Real cool dude. 40-year-old Zhang got fat and old in this fight. Parker's last 2 fights are flattering him. Yeah, I thought, I'm always talking about age don't matter and stuff like that, but Zhang looked like an old man last night. He looked old. He just like, he didn't have no energy. When you see a fighter keep talking to the other guy without letting his hands go, it's like, okay, you're trying gimmicky stuff now. That's not at all going to impress the judges. Do you think Ryan Garcia is trolling Haney, or there's something deep? Yeah, there's something deeper going on. There's a lot of truth into what he's saying. I can't really get into it here because, you know why. But there's a lot of truth into what he's saying. I just wish, as he says he's a believer, and I'm a believer, so I wish he and Fury would stop with the F-bombs. If you follow the Most High, Yeshua, you shouldn't be cussing and all that. That's not cool. You want to represent your belief system, and so people take you seriously. But I think this fight should be canceled with Garcia and Haney, because I don't think Garcia is right in the mind right now. I think he should. Somebody else should step in. Garcia's got a lot going on, and you need a clear mind to be in the ring. Clear mind. You can't be thinking about outside circumstances, or you will get your proverbial head handed to you. Know what I mean? Yes, true, definitely. They got a stand-in fighter was at the yeah. I heard I forget his name, but he was saying yeah, if he's ready if either guy pulls out. I just don't think Ryan is I just don't think he's ready mentally. And Haney's a workhorse, so Haney's gonna be moving around, and Haney's almost like a Floyd Mayweather. And Bill Haney, his dad, is one of the funniest dudes I have ever heard. I did a video on about Bill Haney going at it with Adrian Broner over social media. Adrian Broner could not win a verbal contest with Bill Haney at all. If that was a fight, Bill Haney won in the first round. Almost said Bill Haney. He kicked Adrian's Haney with them comments. Dude said, man, let's put up $25,000 each hour and let's see who runs out of money first. I said, man, if that ain't a mic drop. Then the other day, Adrian Broner calls himself the problem. And Bill Haney said, yeah, you got a problem like paying your house note or paying off your house and your car note. I was like, oh my goodness. It's that California wit, man. California wit. But hopefully there'll be a Knockout Chaos 2. I'm sure AJ will be the headline. He'll probably fight Hrgovic next to keep busy, waiting for the winner of Fury Usyk 2. I think if there is a rematch clause, which they say there is for Fury Usyk, I think it should depend on if the fight is, if it's competitive. If it's like a blowout, do you really want to see a rematch like Crawford Spence? Do you really need to see a rematch? Do you really need that? I don't care what weight it's at. Ain't nobody beating Terrence Crawford. That Honey versus Lorena fight wasn't bad. Never seen a blown up cruiser with such poor stamina. I keep hearing people talk about that fight, and I'm gonna have to go and watch that. I'm gonna have to watch it before I speak on it. Blown up cruiser with such poor stamina as Lorena. Wow. When are you doing? King Slender says, when are you doing the California arm wrestling? Man, I would have to really. I'm in Atlanta right now. I just lived most of my years in California, but yeah, there's a lot of technique involved in arm wrestling. Me and my cousin used to arm wrestle all the time, and there's a lot of techniques, and yeah, I'd have to learn all that stuff. I know you know more about that stuff than me, though, man. What happened? Stallion says, I liked the brown gloves AJ had on last night. Looked like old gloves from it looked kind of like a throwback. You can it looked like throwback gloves. Also the problem I have with white gloves, and the first time, you won't believe this, you guys. First time I ever saw white gloves was in Rocky IV, Apollo Creed versus Ivan Drago. I was like, oh, that looks pretty cool. But the problem with white gloves, I don't know if it's just me, is they always look bigger than what they are. So it seems like whenever you throw a punch, you can see them coming because they look like big old cotton balls. I think AJ had on white gloves when he fought Klitschko, but he still, I guess it didn't matter because he ended up winning that fight. Just put it right there. Here, I'll put it. Yeah. No, you gotta do all that. Spider-Man. Oh, there you go. Makes sense. Could something in that? Yeah. Art of Illusion. Yeah, man. Yeah. King Slender, white's the worst to fight with. You see the colors better. Someone else said that. I forgot who. Yeah, them white gloves, and Ngannou isn't the fastest guy in the world to begin with. So you got these big old white gloves that, look like they're 20-ounce gloves. It's like, dude, the gloves almost telegraph the punch, even if you are fast. And Gano's got decent speed, but you could see the speed difference immediately the way AJ was just like, then he go to the body, he's like, ooh. He caught Ngannou with a right too before I think it was after the first knockdown. He caught Ngannou with a right, like on the cheekbone. I was like, oh, he's about to go. I could see it coming. Stallion says they did look smaller, so what you're saying makes sense. I wonder if it's something we will see from more fighters after last night. Yeah, man, I like those brown gloves too. Now that you mention it, they had that throwback look, like how they used to wear back in the 50s and 60s, man. But who you guys like, Jake Paul or Mike Tyson? I got Tyson. Different brands or different styles. Fury's has very little padding. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know. I think they say Grant gloves are good for blocking and Reyes gloves are great for punchers. Yeah, I noticed that Special K. He says Fury looked embarrassed when Joshua knocked him out. Paris couldn't believe it. Yeah, you saw Fury. Fury's like, oh, what's up? What happened? And then I even saw John Fury and Tommy Fury reporters were trying to talk to them at the end of the fight, and they were like, oh, watch the court. And they were rushing. It's like they were rushing on their way out of the event. They're like, they was getting up out of that arena, like I said, like they had warrants. Like, man, I ain't got time to talk. Where are the exits? You know, True Gordy was really rooting for Ngannou, man. They were talking about like Ngannou was winning that fight at the beginning. Like, no, he wasn't. Ngannou was not winning that fight at no point. I mean, he touched Joshua maybe twice, but at no point was Ngannou winning that fight. And you know, it doesn't really take anything from Ngannou. It just shows, like we had been telling you guys, there's levels to it. Levels. God.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. Can I get a high? Engine Talks in the building. What's up? Appreciate you. Thanks for coming in. Engine Talks. Shout out to you. Appreciate that. Chet Perry. Is there anybody else you'd rather Mike Tyson be fighting? They were talking about Mike Tyson and Lennox Lewis having a exhibition like a couple years ago. It's like, no more exhibitions. Just either have a real fight or don't do it. But no, I'll take Tyson with Jake Paul. I think actually I want to see somebody expose Jake Paul. And then when they see a 58-year-old Mike Tyson dismantle a 20-year-old, they can stop with the ageism. So I beat the brakes off Jake Paul. He's good, but he ain't as good as y'all think he is. A lot of them fights are suspect. I even thought the Tyron Woodley fight was suspect because it's like right when he tapped his face, he was already falling. It's like it didn't even get a chance to follow through. It's like tap, fall. It's like, oh, this looks mad suspect. And then he did the Apollo Creed fall too. Ariel Hawani, the commentator, was in shock. Yeah, he was really pulling for Ngannou, wasn't he? He even came over talking about boxing needs to progress. Like these press conferences are too long. They need to stop interviewing all the other people and just talk to the fighters. Dude, don't come over to our sport and tell us how to run things. You just go over to MMA and teach them dudes how to box. I like Ariel though. Shout out to him and his platform, the MMA Hour. You missed two comments, bro. Good topics. Oh, sorry about that. I'm having some technical issues. If you guys could go ahead and you can retype them if you choose to. Don't mean to miss anybody's comments, but yeah, I think a lot of people are falling for. But Jake Paul's in his 20s and Mike Tyson is in his 50. He'll be 58 by the time of the fight. I'm like, well, remind Jake Paul that when he's getting up off the mat. Remind him that Mike Tyson was 58. It's not gonna matter. Mike Tyson was doing things at a young age that people couldn't do, and he can do things at an older age that people can't do. Do you remember when Prince Nas and Barrera had issues with the gloves before the fight? Nah, I didn't know they had issues before that fight with the gloves. I remember that was a funny fight though. If not rewatch Nas was being picky. Yeah, that dude was entertaining, wasn't he? That Prince Nassim Hamed, man, that dude brought showmanship like never before. That dude would dance for about 20 minutes before he got in the ring. King Slender, people want me to fight Jake. I had tons of messages. I said, set it up, laugh out loud. Imagine the payday for that. Mike Tyson will destroy Jake too if he actually fights. Yeah, man, phew, I think you would too, man. Yeah. Jake, he normally knows who to fight to make himself look good. But if this is a legitimate fight, no, Mike Tyson ain't gonna take a dive or nothing. But if it's not an exhibition, Mike all day. Tyson Fury was getting interviewed on IFL TV yesterday. Fury said, "Hurry up, go to the car." I know Fury was like, and then Fury tried to say, well, he did. He at the last minute he picked Anthony Joshua to win in one round. So I don't know if what he was basing that off of, but Fury also tried to sneak in a sneak diss. He was saying him and Usyk is a real fight. I guess he's trying to imply that the Ngannou fight wasn't real. It's like you can't really say that, man, because people thought that Ngannou beat you, including myself. So don't act like that wasn't a real fight just because AJ did what you were supposed to do. AJ went in there. It's like, man, I like AJ said, my back is tired from carrying heavyweight boxing on my back. So just because you didn't do what AJ did, don't try to downplay the event. You're the one that brought Ngannou into this sport, so don't even try it. There'd be no talk of Ngannou if you did what you were supposed to do, Mr. Gypsy King. I like Tyson Fury, but this dude be all over the place and in his interviews. I've seen him in good moods and bad moods. You never know which Fury you're gonna get. There's like many Furies. There are literally many Furies too. How many? There's so Peter Fury, John Fury, Roman Fury. I know I'm forgetting more. Tyson Fury, of course. Fury must be bucking if you see how AJ disposed of Otto Wallin and Ngannou, gave him the fight of his life. Yeah, AJ's they're mutual opponents. AJ's gone through them. These dudes gave Fury a handful of a fight. Yes, styles make fights, but we got to have some common sense here. Exactly. Yeah, And like I always say, more than styles make fights, hearts make fights. And Ngannou had a lot of heart last night. So, and you're right about this fight as far as styles go. That style just didn't work for him. When you start seeing the dudes switching to southpaw, they're usually out of ideas and just they're on a wing and a prayer at that point. Did you ever see Davey Fury? No, that's one I haven't heard of. Go check him out. Like a Tyson clone, and he claims he ain't related in the UK. Oh, he says he's not related? He said, laugh out loud. Yeah. Yeah, because the last name Fury isn't really a common name, so he must be maybe a second cousin, distant cousin, or something. Maybe the Furies, man, them dudes don't be playing around. They roll deep. Fury's from my neck of the woods. Met the guy. He's a nice chat. All that active camera is his show business. But older you get, you should be more humble. You don't have to sell yourself like you once did. Yeah, I like Tyson Fury's very funny guy. I just like, you can't. They just need to chill with all the f bombs, like, and then they talking about I'm a Christian. That don't go together. It's like if I said I'm a Crip and I'm wearing red every day, you'd be like, oh, okay, that's interesting. The Furies brought WWE to boxing. I can't wait for them to be gone from this sport. Peter Fury is the only man worth listening to in their clan. Yeah, Peter Fury. I think he's training. Isn't he training a female fighter right now? Yeah, I always listen to. Well, not always, but often listen to Peter Fury because he gets pretty good interviews and he's real honest. I like the Fury dude too. Who's his name? He doesn't box. One with the long hair. I like him too. He looks like a real tough guy. He looks like somebody you wouldn't want to meet in the alley. Furies are all tough, Even if you should beat them, like Freddie Roach told James Toney, you might beat me, but you'll know you were in a fight. So even if you hand the Furies their head, you're gonna know you had a scrap. Stallion Coy says childish mentality with him can understand it against Vladimir or Hay, but that's because mind games work. I think they also worked against Wilder, but we like a people's champ. Yeah, those mind games definitely worked against Wilder. I don't think Wilder's as tough mentally as people think he is. Like, he was intimidated by Joshua at the Day of Reckoning press conference. Joshua looked at him and gave him that look he gave Ngannou, and Wilder extended his hand first. Then he leaves the press conference and immediately starts dissing AJ. I'm like, dude, he was right there in your face. You could have said all that then. So I'm not buying the tough act, the bomb squad, and he wanted to catch a body in the ring. That's all Rocky Ford theatrics. I think AJ could see right through that, AJ's got a different look in his eye. I noticed that in his picture with Ngannou at the press conference. They took a photo together, and AJ he's got a different look, man. This dude is like Ivan Drago of this generation. King Slender 2.0, Peter Fury. Oh, that comment just disappeared. I don't know. Where did comment disappear? Comment disappeared, King Slender. Wilder seems to lost his alter ego bomb squad when Fury's dad told him shut up. He listened. Wilder definitely allows people to live in his head rent free. Yeah, and then he's crying a lot. He's getting real emotional. I'm noticing he keeps on saying, "We risk our lives. We risk our lives." And then the minute you keep talking about risking your life, you're thinking too much. And like they used to say in playing football, if you play not to get injured, that's usually when you get injured. So if you're in there talking about, we risk our lives, are you in there thinking, I don't want to get caught because I don't want to risk my life? Peter Fury stole all the common sense from the rest of the family. Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah, man, Peter Fury seems like a no-nonsense guy. He's like a dude nobody would want to run up on. You see somebody with gray hair and thinking you can handle them, and then you get mopped. I remember years ago, I don't know if you guys saw it, it was this older white guy on a city bus, and this youngster came up to him talking crazy, the guy had to be at least 30 to 40 years older than the youngster. And he was just harassing the old guy. The old guy must have put hands on that dude so fast and walked off the bus in front of that dude's people. So don't look at people with gray hair and necessarily think they won't put hands on you. So that dude learned that day. Try to take that guy's seat. You got mopped, and he was leaking. I think even the girl he was with was like, "Man, you leaking." King Slender says, "I saw that." Yeah, yeah. That old dude was like, "Whap, whap, 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 whap. Here's my stop. You shouldn't have messed with me." Stallion says, "I think something more higher was involved in Fury versus Wilder when Wilder said, 'Oh yeah, it's your God against mine.' Yes, the turning point in his career. Even Canine Boxer agrees. He definitely summoned something. Oh yeah, he's into some dark stuff. The mask and all that. And he talked about he bought it in Louisiana, and we all know what Louisiana's about. Yeah, and when Fury said, 'I thought we were the same,' I was like, oh, it's a wrap. Just like Holyfield called Mike Tyson out on. He was like, 'You against me.' He was talking about, who they believed in. And so Holyfield made a statement. Even the interview at the end of the fight tried to get Holyfield to stop talking about his faith, and Holyfield kept doing it anyway. He said they always tried to get him to stop talking about his beliefs and he wouldn't do it. So shout out to Evander Holyfield, one of my favorite fighters of all time. The very first fight I really watched that got me into boxing was Evander Holyfield versus Larry Holmes. And I was like, wow, you can hear the punches like a Rocky movie? I like this. But yeah, I think the most high was definitely with Fury and then Wilder fights. When the special case is when the Joshua versus Ngannou fight was announced, Peter Fury said, "Let's see if Ngannou can take real punches." That was a slap in the face for Tyson Fury. Yeah, I wonder if Peter Fury even realized he said that. Like real punches, like no slaps this time. Yeah, AJ definitely hits harder than Fury. Fury can punch. He's underrated, but not on AJ's level. Plus, AJ put his weight into his punch yesterday, like Lennox Lewis used to do. So Ngannou got that whole 252 on his chin, and I know that don't feel good. They said it only takes 5 pounds of pressure to knock you out. So imagine 252 pounds. Yes, you see that really was blown away with Vargas last night. Yeah, Vargas did a lot of running. He had good body shots. Stallion says he put his neck online on that walk-in. Yeah, what was that about? Yeah. They fell out, Fury and Peter, soon as Fury's dad comes out of prison. But like Mayweather's dad, let me see. But like Mayweather's dad started calling shots. Oh, okay. So they had a falling out, huh? I didn't know that. Yeah, I think because all the Furies are so outspoken, it's easy to have disagreements and falling outs. Hope they patch that up. You hate to see internal beef with a family, um, especially if it's over boxing. You hate to see them split up over a sport. Change trainers, etc. Yeah. Oh, okay. Thought Peter couldn't take him to world titles. Oh, okay. So he didn't have much confidence in Peter's training skills, huh? Wow, that's interesting. That is interesting. I think Andy Lee's a great trainer, like I keep saying. Bomac, of course. Ben Davison, definitely. James Bashir. Those would be my top four right there. Keep forgetting Caleb Plant's trainer, but I like him too. Thought Peter. Oh, okay, I'm just reading the same comment. I keep thinking this is a Sunday because fights usually happen on a Saturday. It's odd to have a big fight on a Friday. I don't know why they did it that way, but it's kind of throwing me off. I miss the days of Tuesday night fights, man. Sean O'Grady, man. Missed them days. Tuesday night fights, man. I remember Michael Moore beat this guy. Stallion Coy says same, bro. That's what's up. But I remember on Tuesday night fights, Michael Moore fought this dude, and it was a headbutting the dude. They had to stop it because the dude was bleeding, and he was just going around cussing and trying to push people. Michael Moore took the mic and said, "Man, quit acting like a bee and accept the defeat," and slammed the mic. I was like, oh, a literal mic drop, huh? It's Sunday morning for here for me, bro. Sunday morning? Am I on there? This is Saturday, right? Oh, it's Sunday morning for where you at, man? You on Tatooine? Dun, 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 dun. Stallion Coy says after the fight went to Mrs. Isn't it Sunday now? Oh, I got you. The fight was at 3 a.m. Yeah, when they were doing the interviews after the fight in Saudi Arabia, they were like, it's 4 some in the morning. I'm like, man. I don't know if AJ and them were, on their time or their own in the UK, or if they're on the same time. The fight was at 3 a.m. in Saudi, so UK fight fans could watch. Oh, man. Wowzers. Yeah, if I was preparing for that fight, I think Andy Lee said he had Joseph Parker sparring at the time the fight would be. So that's pretty smart. So you wouldn't go in there sluggish or sleepy. If you got to fight at 3 a.m., then train at 3 a.m. And Zhang, do not come into your next fight at 290 anything. Lay off the gallons of water. And I think that's what was making him sluggish is the water. He's still got power because you see he still knocked Joyce down twice. He just didn't have the energy to finish up with anything. I was like, yeah, he don't have no energy tonight. He looked real tired too, and I think Parker got his attention with a couple of those shots. I don't think he was close to getting knocked down, but it definitely kind of kept him honest. If you know what I mean. Stallion says UK fans will be more happy fights in Saudi than US. I don't know if I'm built to stay up till 4:30 a.m. to watch anymore. Yeah, man, that's a crazy hour to be trying to watch a fight. Wow. I didn't know that. I didn't know that was the case. Man, because here the fight came on around 7 p.m. Eastern time, The Saudis they're getting these fights out though. They're getting big fights. I hear Terrence Crawford will probably be fighting Chris Eubank Jr. He says done it many times. Yeah. Oh, okay. Special cases, Zhang seemed to hurt Parker every time he touched him. Yeah, that's why I was getting frustrated. I'm like, why is he not following up? He had Parker bleeding. He just didn't have that. I don't know if hold on, let me get some water, y'all. I don't know if he just didn't have that. Well, no, he definitely has the instinct to go for the KO, but I just think he just didn't have the gas. Zhang seen her, yeah. Yeah, like I was saying, Terrence Crawford is supposed to be fighting Chris Eubank Jr. And they both got Bomac, but Bomac's going to be loyal to Terrence Crawford because he's only worked with Chris Eubank once. And he had Chris Eubank looking good against Liam Smith in that rematch. But Terrence Crawford will knock out Chris Eubank. There's no question. I like Chris Eubank. Chris Eubank Jr. He's got a funny way about him, real funny. real funny. But Crawford is too much. Crawford's one of my favorite fighters, as you can tell. The man got shot in the head and drove himself to the hospital. That's some crazy stuff. Stallion Coy says, but the fights don't give me adrenaline like Tyson versus Lewis, Nas versus Kelly. Oh, that Nas Kelly fight was something else, wasn't it? Tua versus Lewis, more like I will set an alarm or catch it on the replay. Yeah, the energy is not all that, but I tend to forget as I'm seeing it. I'm just so into the fight. I tend to not even. Yeah, I know you meant David Tua, man. Um, Go subscribe to David Tua's Instagram, man. He's still training like he's got a fight coming up. He's even like training MMA and stuff. I think he's in New Zealand. Bon Scott in the building, one of my moderators. What's up, man? Thanks for coming in. We're just talking a little knockout chaos aftermath and talking about Tyson, Jake Paul, Crawford, Chris Eubanks, classic fights. We're getting it all in. Welcome to the aftermath. Like we always do about this time. Bon Scott in the building. I had a nice little turnout for my live stream. I thought my camera was charging. Went off like right before the Parker fight. I'm like, really? So I had to let it charge a little bit, and then I came back in the fourth round. I was like, please don't let somebody get knocked out while I'm not live. But so far, the Saudis have been disappointed with their main events. I wonder what the next one's going to be. They are not playing around. Yeah, yesterday was great commentary from your good self and Andrew. Oh yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, Andrew did his thing. He got like what 29,000 views. I was like, man, he wasn't playing around. I was supposed to come on at 2 p.m. and I don't know if I was gonna call the fights. I was gonna just come chop it up with y'all, but there was a lot going on, man. King Slender says, "What's Sorenko?" I talked to Vlad yesterday. He was real cool. He's real polite, man. One of the nicest guys. He's almost like Joshua and Joe Parker, man. He's a class act. He had a fight that was supposed to happen Tuesday, and the opponent didn't show up. So, you know, but hopefully, I was hoping he could get on this knockout chaos card. Maybe he'll get on the next one. But Vlad Sarenko, y'all check for him. 19-0 with 16 knockouts. Good dude, man. If he ever comes to Atlanta, man, we gotta definitely paint the town. Coach, speaking of Vlad, Coach James always has high regard for Vlad Sarenko's ethic. All these Ukrainian fighters, man, they stay in the gym. You don't have to worry about them partying and doing crazy stuff. They go to the gym and then they go home. Rinse and repeat. They don't do none of the crazy stuff. Coach James was talking about he was going to move out of the United States. I think he did because he was sick of dealing with the lack of discipline over here. Special K said it would be good if the Saudis got a few more up and coming contenders on these cards, guys like Jalo. Oh, that's hard to say. Jalo. I ain't gonna even try. But instead, we got to see Roman Fury. Didn't Jalolo, however you say his name, didn't he beat Richard Torres in the Olympics? Is that who I'm thinking of? I'm pretty big on Richard Torres. He's from my neck of the woods, California. Bon Scott says they all slagging Fury off now, laugh out loud, saying Joshua showed him up. But the thing is, Fury didn't take it serious. Waiting to read the rest of the comment. But the thing is, Fury didn't take it serious. At the end of the day, Joshua KO'd a novice. Yeah, but the thing is, nobody's ever made Francis Ngannou even wobbled. Not by kicks, elbows. No one's ever wobbled him, let alone knocked him out. And Joshua just showed him, like, welcome to boxing. Like, welcome to elite level boxing. Jalolov will rule the division in the future. The man is fire. I think that's who I'm thinking about. And from what I saw of him, yeah, is he real tall and he can punch? That's who I'm thinking of. Fury sparred 12, 15 rounds for 5 weeks. Oh, okay. So did he take him lightly? I don't know. I know Lennox Lewis's training camps used to be 7 to 8 weeks. You know, Tyson Fury says he doesn't need any more than 5 weeks to get ready for a fight. He looks real slim in that suit he was wearing. I think that's the slimmest I've ever seen Fury. Looked like he was maybe around 250. You know, that's real slim for a guy his height. Boxers trained to punch hard. Mixed martial arts is in the name. They train various techniques. Yeah, exactly. So they're training grappling and knees and elbows. And yeah, boxers just use these. Something else that I haven't talked about, this loss that Ngannou just took to Joshua kind of takes the steam out of John Jones versus Ngannou now, because I always wanted that fight in mixed martial arts, but now it's like I always favor John Jones. Now I really favor John Jones, and a lot of people were mad that John Jones picked Joshua to win this fight. He said, "Sorry, Francis, but I did a video about it, but he picked John Jones." But yeah, it's like now it's like, do you really want to see John Jones and Ngannou? Jones is the best mixed martial artist of all time. Of all time. That dude hits you with everything. I seen that dude have someone on the cage just look like he strangled him. You just see him drop. I was like, wow, is that legal? I remember Rampage was mad at him for messing up his knees when he would kick his knee back like an ostrich. They shouldn't allow that, by the way. That can cripple somebody. Bon Scott said Joshua would have done that to any MMA fighter that steps in the ring with him. Yeah, them MMA guys. When I saw what Jake Paul did to Nate Diaz, I was like, these dudes have no. One of the best stand-up fighters in UFC was JDS, Junior Dos Santos, back when he was in his prime. But, you know, them Cain Velasquez fights took a lot out of him. I saw JDS recently doing bare knuckle against Verdum, but them dudes are just kind of posing the whole time. But they gave the decision to JDS. I always said Junior Dos Santos should have been a boxer because that's mainly all he did. But now it's like you start to see that these MMA guys ain't got nothing for an elite fighter. And maybe not an elite fighter, just a boxer in general. MMA fighters stand more squared up too because they're about to kick. They try to stay in position to land kicks when boxers stand more sideways to give less of a target. Yeah, you know what I mean? Let's see what Mr. Bon Scott is saying. Paulie Malignaggi did some bare. No, yeah, he sure did. I think he lost by decision. King Slender Games is the most potential or boxer skill wise. Santos packing glass, I think. You talking about Junior Dos Santos? he was my guy back in the day, but he stopped Kane in that first fight, and then after them fights, it was just too brutal. Then he lost to Overeem, and he was getting stopped by jabs. I'm like, where is the old JD? Oh, you meant Gons? Yeah, Cyril Gahn. Yeah, Cyril Gahn looked like he was gonna put hands on Ngannou when they were fighting, and Ngannou kept taking him to the ground. Ngannou picked him up and slammed him like he was nothing. I picked Cyril Gahn to win that MMA fight, but I don't know MMA half as well as I know boxing. People used to say how Cyril Gahn kind of looked like Anthony Joshua. Would love to see White versus Ngannou in MMA, but yeah, that'd be entertaining. Yeah, Dillian is back. Jola is 6'7" southpaw that floats like a butterfly. His amateur record is outstanding, and he is as fast and powerful. He's fast and powerful. The man has it all. He's a Bob Arum fighter. Wow. Yeah, 6'7", man. Yeah, that's a lot of height, man. These new fighters are like NBA players. I wonder what happened to the dude. I forget his name. I did a video on him about a couple years ago. The guy that beat Deontay in the amateurs. He was Russian. He was 6 feet, and he stopped Deontay. I'm like, where's his name? I think was Roman something. But I'm wondering what happened to his career. And don't Deontay want some payback since he got knocked down and stopped? Don't you want some payback, Mr. Bomb Squad? King Slender 2.0. I thought Gone won. I kind of thought that too. I did a video about that too. I kind of thought Gone won too, because it's almost like Ngannou would take him down, but he didn't seem to do all that much once he had him down. And did you see how easy John Jones took care of Cyril Gahn after years out of the sport? He just came back like he started where he left off. He just came in there and was like, okay, I'll take it from here. I'm John Jones. Nice to meet you. He beat your guy. Yeah, that's okay. That is what I'm thinking of. He beat your guy Torres. He beat UK fighter Clark too. Oh, he beat Fraser Clark? Wow, yeah, he put Torres out cold, man. I was like, ooh, dragon leg in the building, in the proverbial building. What's up, dragon leg? We just talking a little pugilism here. I know who you're talking about, Russian guy. I forgot his name. Yeah, the fight is on YouTube, but he was only 6 feet. See, some of these shorter guys are right in line with the chin of these taller guys. So they're right here, and they're right in the path of that right. Pow! Thought you had a height advantage, didn't you? It's only an advantage if you know how to use it. Just like weight. If you're 250 some, you use that 250, or else it's no use in weighing 250. Got to make it work for you, not against you. You know what I mean? You ever seen Dimitri Pirot? I'm not sure how to say that last name. Suffered a career-ending injury preparing for Golovkin. Would have maybe changed Golovkin's career also if they had fought. Nah, I don't know who that is. Nah, man. I'm gonna have to up my game. Can't be on here not knowing who y'all talking about. Come on, Jay Roos, get your game up, man. Special K says Povetkin was the man who would have done well in MMA. Povetkin was a champion kickboxer before he's. I didn't know that. I didn't know that about Povetkin. I know Klitschko I believe Vitaly Klitschko used to be a kickboxer. Dragon Leg says, I feel like Nick Ball won that fight. A lot of people are saying that. A lot of people are saying that. Um, he definitely took over the second half of the fight. I know that. Yeah, I can see the fight going either way because Vargas was just had on his track shoes so much. Linda Sapicha in the house. What's up, Linda? Shout out to you. Thanks for taking time out to come check out the platform. Linda, a big subscriber, Andrew Tucker World, and J. Roos Theory. Shout out to you. 20-0, extremely talented fighter. KO Jacobs in 5. Wow. 20-0, huh? Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Does Danny Jacobs still fight? I was never that impressed with Danny Jacobs. Trying to read the comments here from Mr. Bond Scott. WBO champion until he got stripped because he wanted to fight Golovkin instead of fighting his mandatory. Oh, I see. Nah, he beat Jacobs in 2010, Bond Scott says. Oh, okay. Yeah, sometimes these mandatories are tricky because it's like you want to keep your belt, so but you also want to fight somebody that the public wants to see. And often these mandatories aren't in high demand, so you're like, do I fight this guy and keep my belt, or do I go for the big name fighter who the people want to see, and I'm gonna make more money fighting this guy that the people want to see? I think a lot of people are losing it for all these belts. There's just too many of them. Too many belts, man. They should have one belt, and they should stop all these junior this, junior that. It should be lightweight. It should be featherweight, lightweight, welterweight, middle, and you can even skip the cruiserweight division. Go light, heavy, and then heavyweight, and no bridgerweight. I'm not interested in no bridgerweight. I don't even have any prestige to it. I'm a bridgerweight. Common fan be like, "What's a bridgerweight?" Salute at Linda Sapicha. Bon Scott says, absolutely. Don't drink soda, y'all. It's not good for you. A little public service announcement. You know what I mean? But I gotta find out when that Viking Samurai fight is tonight. I want to go live for that. Gotta support my dude. It's a 3-round fight, celebrity boxing. Bob Marley, One Love on the belt. Laugh out loud. I meant to go see that Bob Marley movie. I didn't think the guy they got to play him was didn't really look much like him, but sometimes you can capture the feeling of the person even if you don't really look like them. Because Angela Bassett didn't look nothing like Tina Turner, but I thought, and Lawrence Fishburne sure didn't look like Ike, but they definitely were entertaining watching that movie. Bon Scott said, looks like a good movie. Yeah, it did look pretty entertaining, man. There's a lot of Marleys, ain't there? I wonder who there's more of, the Furies or the Marleys. There's a whole bunch of Marleys, man. In fact, they had a team up and have a reality show together. The Marleys meet the Furies. They be having babies, don't they? They ain't playing around. What weight is Viking? I believe Viking Samurai is 190, 180, somewhere in there. Great shape, man. I met him in person, man. The dude is he's real fit, man. Super nice guy too. Real nice, humble guy. Yeah, yeah, there's probably more Marleys than Furies, huh, man? Yeah, Key Monty Marley, Damian Marley, Stephen Marley. Forget. Well, I know I'm forgetting somebody.
YG Marley.
Who's that?
YG Marley.
That's one.
Mm-hmm.
YG Marley.
Mm-hmm.
I never even heard of him. Is he good? YG Marley. You got Ziggy Marley. Uh, I like Key Monty Marley. Some of his stuff. You know, he had a reality show at one point. Dragon Lake says 180. Okay, yeah, around 180. Yeah, man. Viking Samurai's gonna put it on, dude, tonight. He's the main event. I want to get into celebrity boxing, man. Ziggy sounds just like his dad. Yeah, they all kind of. That's what's weird about the Marleys. They all kind of sound like their dad. That's a trip, man. You can listen to each one of them, and be like, okay, which Marley is this? Like, ooh, huh? I trip off Kimani Marley because he grew up in Miami, but he be having a Jamaican accent. But then I notice other times he just speaks clear English with no accent. It's like he goes in between. I guess it's for his Jamaican homies, so he can show them. See, I'm still a part of y'all. Jamaican, Jamaican rude boy. Yeah, yeah, daughters too. I forgot about that. And then there was the mom, Rita Marley. Yeah, man. Damien is my favorite. Yeah, man, that Welcome to Jamrock beat hits hard, don't it? Welcome to Jamrock. Boom, 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 boom. Welcome to Jamrock. Let me stop before I get a copyright. Be like, that wasn't a real song. That was me singing at YouTube. Like, well, you didn't get permission to sing it. Did you go to the Marleys? I used to go to so many reggae shows back in San Diego and Junior Reed and all that. 12 kids. He said Bob was busy. Yeah, Bob put in work. Bob was not playing around. I guess he didn't have no hobbies. Well, he used to play soccer, but I guess when he wasn't on the soccer field, he was doing his thug thizzle. Bob Marley did not play around, man. No guy test this man. Robert Nestor Marley. A lot of people don't know he started off as a Christian before he changed into, what he changed into. And then before he passed away, he went back to being a Christian. A lot of people don't know that. Go check out an interview a Christian reggae group called Christafari did. They talk about that. What do I rate Roman Fury? You know what? I missed that fight altogether. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it. I'm assuming he won yesterday. Did you see it? If so, let me know. Did he win? And if so, was it a knockout? I don't even know what weight class he is. Is he a heavyweight? Because I was having technical issues. Mon Scott said my mom had 8. She said it because there was only 2 TV channels back in the day. Yeah, I know what you mean. We used to joke about that with my cousin that had a lot of children. They're like, man, you better get some cable TV. It's like, man, we only got 2 channels. That's all they do is I guess what married people do, huh? 2 channels. That's funny. Bon Scott in the building. Roman Fury was a disgrace. I'm trying to read the rest of the comment. This bar at the bottom. Let's just be staying there too. Roman Fury was a disgrace. It was amateur hour. Oh, it was that bad, huh? Yeah, man, them Furies is, I don't know. I guess they all don't have Tyson Fury's talent, man. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and check out that fight. But the lifestyle of what you're saying, Dragon Leg, yeah, they kind of take the scriptures and twist it, and they believe Haile Selassie is who they call Jesus, and he came off the plane, I understand, and they were bowing to him and worshiping him. And he's like, "Whoa, no, like stop, nah." He was a Christian himself, so they worshiped this guy like he was a. It's like, nah, there's no reincarnation, man. Yeshua is Yeshua. He's not Haile Selassie. King Slender 2.0. Roman doesn't look like a heavyweight. He fights well lighter. I don't know. Yeah, when I saw him, he maybe is a cruiserweight or light heavy. I ain't never seen the guy before. I don't think. It's like the Furies just pop out the woodwork. Eubank Senior is he now? I did not know that. I feel you. I don't worship no man. Yeah, they're like. I think that happened to Chris Tucker when he went over to Africa. They started like worshiping him too. I'm like, stop with stop it. This is Chris Tucker. This is not Yeshua. This is not Yahweh. This is not Chris Tucker. Like really? Just because you like the guy's movies? And Chris Tucker's a Christian, so yeah, no, he wasn't cool with that. He lives up here in Atlanta. Chris Tucker. I think they're supposed to do another Rush Hour. That's on a different topic, but hey, might as well talk about everything. And I want to see Beverly Hills Cop 4 too. Is that out yet? Eubank quite often uses the patois. I'm trying to read the rest of it. He often uses the patois to talk like an English gent. Yeah, I always thought Eubank Jr.'s voice is real interesting. Like he says his S's like this. I'm like, wow, them S's be hitting, man. Like if he's close to a mic, all his S's are like really pronounced. I'm Chris Eubank, and it's S's. I'm like, oh, okay, alrighty. That you think Crawford versus Eubank Jr. What do I think about Crawford versus Eubank Jr.? I think Crawford wins that by knockout around rounds 5 or 6. If Canelo can fight Mungia, why not Crawford fighting Eubank Jr.? Yeah, really, I think Canelo needs to just hang it up at this point. It's like I'm just kind of tired of seeing Canelo. How long has this dude been fighting, man? And he doesn't let his hands go that much anymore. After that last fight he had with what's his name, the Charlo, it's like okay, Charlo didn't come to fight really. All I saw was clips of it, but I'm kind of listening to those who saw all of it. But from what I saw, it's like he was just there for the bag, as they say. But I think Crawford destroys Eubank Jr. He's just way too physically strong. Crawford has the strength of a heavyweight. Since 15 in the pros. Yeah, man. Yeah, Canelo's been fighting a long, long time. Long time. Cobra Commander had a bad. Oh yeah, Cobra Commander. Wow, you remember that? GI Joe, man. I used to have the little action figures with Zartan and all that. I think that was his name. Man, I used to play for hours. I had the A Team action figures. Used to be a cartoon called Mask where they would have these vehicles that like a car would turn into a plane. I had all that stuff. Man, you took me back there, King Slender. Don't get me to reminiscing. Don't have me up here reminiscing. I'll talk for 5 more hours just reminiscing, you know what I mean? Ain't that right?
Um,
You know how I do.
sure.
Voltron. Oh man, Voltron with the lion. I always like the lion ones more than the car ones, man. Voltron was the joint. That was must see TV, man. Voltron. I always wanted the toys. I had the Transformer Devastator where you put all the Constructicons together, and that thing was complicated to put together. But now, of course, video games erased all that. You know, these little toys helped your imagination. Now these video games got you stuck to the TV all day. Yeah, Zartan turned colors in the sun. Yeah, you're right about man. Man, I should have kept that, man. I bet this stuff would be I bet I could sell that for a lot right now. I got like Star Wars Pez dispensers still in the packaging. I bought in 2006. I don't know how much they'd be worth now. Disney has completely destroyed Star Wars except for The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian was way better than the theatrical releases, in my humble opinion. I knew when George Lucas sold Star Wars to Disney, I was like, oh, come on, George. No, not the corporation. Don't sell out to the evil empire, man. Even he said something like that about the evil empire, referring to Disney. Disney gets their clutches on something, you're gonna see all kind of agendas in the movies, and I think you know what I mean without having to spell it out. Just go check out the last Star Wars theatrical release. Look at near the end scene, and you'll know what I'm talking about. Deadpool, will the MCU? They went beyond woke. Yeah, all these. Can we just watch a movie now without getting a political message, man? It's crazy. Yeah, they probably. Bon Scott said, yeah, they probably have Chewbacca as a fur. Yeah, man. Yeah, these new Star Wars movies. Like when I saw that Palpatine was back, it made me want to see it. But I'm like, how in the world could Palpatine get thrown down by Vader, the Death Star blow up, and this dude is still alive? I'm like, well, then you can't kill him. Like whatever you do, he just come back. You blow this dude up, throw him down the drain, the dishwasher, he just pop right back up. I'm Palpatine. You can't kill me. Deadpool saved the MCU. They went beyond woke. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, you know what? I don't like all these superhero movies. I get sick of the car chases and the shootouts and the CGI. That's what George Lucas understood. He knew you had to write a story, and the special effects should complement the story. Nowadays, they don't have a story, so they just overload you with special effects for lack of a story. So George Lucas understood that, and that's why his movies were so much better than the Disney version. A lot of people don't like the prequels. I like the prequels. I didn't really care too much for Attack of the Clones all that much. It was a little bit CGI heavy, looked too video gameish. And they still should have shown more of Vader in Return of the Sith, Revenge of the Sith. We waited and waited to see Anakin change to Vader, and then they show him as Vader for about 3 minutes, if that. Like, come on, man. Dragon Leg and Stan Lee, hmm? Hmm. Good question it is, hmm? Bon Scott says video games are the same. You can complete a game now in an hour or two and never go back to it. Yeah, man, some of these games, man. And I don't understand Fortnite. I just don't get it. Like you're walking, then a ramp appears out of nowhere, then a building appears. I'm like, I don't understand this. And it's like Kwame Brown said, shout out to Kwame Brown. He was saying how they don't have any pause buttons on these games. So when you try to tell your child to go take out the trash or do something, they're like, "No, I can't. I'm in the middle of a game. I can't pause it." They knew what they was doing. Video games. Oh yeah, I read that. Since Stan Lee passed away, Disney messed up Marvel. Yeah, Disney's in the business of seem like ruining every franchise, aren't they? I tell you, man. I tell you. But I'm more into like a good story over, all this CGI and all that garbage because they just overdo it. They don't know the art of subtlety. Don't like that game. You definitely need to have ADHD to play Fortnite. Yeah, I can't mess with Fortnite. I like playing Madden and all that and NBA and boxing game. There's what boxing game is that I play, but they don't let you recover. So the minute you get hurt or wobble, you pretty much going down, and that's gonna
Fight
be
night.
it. Yeah, which fight night is it though? Because I like the Roy Jones fight night, except the music on it. Like I used to go through that whole career mode. I'd be everybody.
Fight. Mhm.
Every fighter had a pattern. Remember Mike Tyson Punch Out on Nintendo? I could beat that too. Every fighter did certain things. They flash or blink, and you knew when to hit them. Remember Mike Tyson? He would hit you one shot and you go down. George Foreman had a video game too, I think for Sega, but I don't remember much about it. Imagine Disney gets a hold of Dragon Ball Z. Boy, my dude Daryl was into some. I've never seen an episode of it, but my dude Daryl was into Dragon Ball Z and Thundercats. I was like, man, and the Transformers. He used to love him some Transformers. King Slender says Tough Man contest for the Genesis. You get to fight Butterbean at the end. Wow.
Mm.
Get to fight Butterbean at the end, huh? Mr. Butterbean. Now they would probably make Vegeta and Goku secret lovers or so. Yeah, they always got to put that twist on it. They always got to do. Didn't they even do that with oh, what's the Power Rangers or something? What happened to the undisputed game for the console? Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. There was a boxing game that Showbiz was supposed to be on as a referee that I forget. He explained why it never came out. Showbiz the dope. What's up with you? King Slender 2.0. I used to have a high score for Punch Out, over 15,000 points. Mike appreciated it on Twitter. Oh, for real? Oh, that's pretty cool, man. Yeah, man. I remember when video games are always point based and then they gradually work that out. I miss going to the arcades. They used to have a Star Wars game where I used to stay down there at that arcade. Arcades are a thing of the past now, huh? Well, I mean, they still exist, but they're not. Back in the 80s, that was the thing to do for children. When summertime came, I'd stay at the taco shop and go to the arcade. Then they had a little penny store where candies, you get all kind of candy for a penny, man. Can you imagine that now? Batman is now known as Batman. He said Batman is now known as Batman. We know what that is, man. Estrogen filled man. Batman. Now, yeah, I know. Is Batman politically incorrect now? We got to call him a Bat person so we don't offend anyone. I'm Bat person. Bat person versus super person. 816-bit games are a lot harder than today's games. Oh yeah, man. Today's games almost that's one thing I don't like about Madden. You can just push a button and let it do it for you. We used to actually have to throw the moves and throw the pass. Now you just hit one button and they do it all. It's like, well, what am I playing for? I might as well just watch. It's like watching a game on TV. Kind of helps though if you don't know what to do. Like I don't know what play to do. I'm gonna let them go ahead and handle it. Bat person and Robin, the prepubescent wonder. You got a good sense of humor, man. Bat person and Robin, the prepubescent wonder. Yeah, man, that's probably you probably just gave them an idea. They're like, you know what? That's actually marketable. Let's start a whole campaign on that. Vaughn Scott in the building. That's too funny. Wow, wow, wow. I saw a poll. Dragon Leg says I saw a poll on Facebook. He-Man versus Hulk. Who wins? I didn't know He-Man was that powerful. Well, he beat the Hulk, huh? I used to actually watch He-Man, then I started realizing that stuff was a bunch of sorcery. Like I was like, what am I watching here? I was like, I'm good on He-Man. Remember Dolph Lundgren, who played Ivan Drago, played He-Man. Remember that? But yeah, He-Man was full of sorcery, like all these Disney cartoons. Always magic, 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 more magic and more magic and everything. I'm like, okay. Wasn't there a female she woman? Yeah, I believe so. I believe so. Wasn't there a female she woman or some? Yeah, yeah, it was a Shira. Yeah, yep. I remember that, man. I used to come home from school, watch Scooby Doo. Man, that seems like so long ago. I guess it was though. Those were the days, man. Riding your bike around. I'm gonna do a video about the '80s. I think I already touched on it, but I'm gonna do another one on the '80s and '90s, man. It was just a whole different feeling in the air. Life wasn't as complicated. You weren't getting hit with agendas left and right. You weren't penalized for being a thinker. You could just, I remember playing electric football. You guys remember that? You put the little men on the green, you plug it in, and the board would vibrate. You didn't see it vibrate, but it would move the football players around. My buddy actually made a living from that. He used to make his own teams and paint them, and I think he made quite a good living off of that. But I used to love my toys. Going to Toys R Us was an event. If I knew I was going to Toys R Us, made my day. I was Then Toys R Us kind of got faded out when video games took over. Video games had kind of played out at one point, and then Nintendo kind of brought it back. There was a documentary I saw on the evolution of video games. It was pretty cool to see how they've changed over the years. Atari used to have basketball with one man with a square ball, and his leg, just one leg, would move like that. Now these games look so real, you almost think you're watching a real game. Toys R Us was like Disneyland. You ain't lying, man. Toys R Us was the joint. Toys R Us was better than KB's, and KB's was always like messy. You go into KB's in the mall, it was always like toys on the floor. Toys R Us was the spot, man. You go into Toys R Us with some money, you're like, oh man, I'm about to lose my mind in here. See what you get on the J. Roos theory. You get reminiscing. You get '80s and '90s talk. You get boxing talk. I take you back like a time machine. Rock'em sock'em robots. Yeah, man. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, I had the A Team, Mr. T, Murdoch, Hannibal, Face. A Team was the show too, man. I remember when that premiered. A Team just took over. I think it came on Tuesday nights at 8. You was just glued to the set. I'm exposing my age, ain't I? Because Dallas was the best show of all time. J.R. Ewing. Dallas, best written show, best actors. The White Shadow, one of my other favorite shows. Never, nothing like that will ever hit TV again. Did you ever Stretch Armstrong to see how far before? Stretch Armstrong was a little before my time, but I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. Yo, bro, you still going strong. You're sounding like Ngannou's trainer. Now too much talking, bro. I know, yeah, my voice is, yeah, I am starting to be like, yes, have that WWE voice. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I better drink some fluids before they start thinking I'm Dewey Cooper. Cereal and food taste a lot better back. Oh, you ain't lying, man. They didn't have as much chemicals and additives in the food. Big Macs were actually big. I saw a video the other week where somebody was putting a flamethrower to a Big Mac. It wouldn't even set a fire. I'm like, what's in this food? I used to love Big Macs. I used to watch soap back in the day. Oh yeah, man. I remember that had Benson on there. I remember the TV show Benson, man. Robert Guillaume, great actor. Leave It to Beaver was my joint, man. Oh man, I saw that house in person when I took the Universal Studios tour. All started with cornflakes. Then they brought out Frosties. I used to like getting my frosted flakes soggy, like getting them out, getting a soggy bowl of frosted flakes. Frosted flakes, a nice healthy breakfast, or healthful, I should say. Now you get marshmallows and cereal, yeah. WT, yeah. What the? Yeah, marshmallows and cereal. They trying to keep you hyped up on sugar, ain't they? Cereals man-made and labs. There's a UK bodybuilder, Eddie, exposing all this. Yeah, man, this food nowadays is chemically induced. I King Slender, I took fast food class in community college. You guys don't want to know. Oh man, I can imagine the stories. I can imagine the stories, man. Yeah, the stuff they allow in our foods. I did a video about that about 5 years ago. Stallion says instead of counting calories, count ingredients. You soon know what you're eating. Yeah, good advice, man. Good advice. Bon Scott says Eddie Hall. Yeah, that might be who he's referring to. Oh yeah, Kylie Muscles on his health stuff right now, man. Bon Scott, Eddie, I like cereal with marshmallows. Don't hate on me. I keep a balance with my cereal. Dragon Leg says Callie's delusional. Yeah, I remember when he was doing that watermelon kick, people were really concerned for him, just eating watermelon for a while. Then he went to cucumbers. King Slender 2.0 says have a Burger King games for the Xbox 360. I have Burger King games for the Xbox. Burger King games? What in the world? Stein says sodium and everything. Guess even in that bottled water. Yeah, even the plastic. This plastic ain't even good, especially if you leave it in the heat. And canned foods be having estrogen mimickers sprayed into the can. So you eat some green beans thinking you're eating healthful, and you're getting some estrogen mimickers in your bloodstream. That's why I pray over all my food. Scripture says you can eat any deadly thing and it won't harm you. So I'm living testament to that. All this stuff is bad. Vegetarians think they eating healthy and they eating lettuce and veggies with all kind of chemicals on it. Still love Burger King. Had some last night. Yeah. Yeah, them Whoppers be on hit, don't they? Doing on training day mainly. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. Do they use hormone beef in the U.S.? Absolutely, man. Yeah, man. I guess people here, if you eat red meat, you're on steroids by default. Probably go take a blood test and be like, man, I don't take no steroids. They were like, you just had a hamburger, didn't you? They were limited edition. I got some unwrapped. Laugh out loud. Wow. Limited edition, huh? I used to hit up a place real popular in San Diego or California, In and Out Burger. They were good because they just had an exclusive menu of like burger, fries, and it wasn't 80,000 things to choose from. Uh, Dragon Leg, olive day, balance your meals and stay active. Yeah, gotta stay active, man. Gotta stay active. Like Anthony Joshua in the ring, staying active. Bon Scott, Dragon Lake says Bon Scott, yes. King Slender. The Sneak King was a real game. Creepy Burger King guy going around sneaking around in the game. Laugh out loud. Yeah, that game sounded a little suspect, man. That sounded like a freaky game there. Same with the eggs. Apparently, the hormone found in Connor Ben is in eggs produce. Wow, and I eat tons of eggs. Goodness gracious, man. Why don't they leave us alone? Not just beef, chicken too. Oh yeah, I try to buy let's see, it begins with a P. Their chicken's supposed to be hormone free and it's not overly priced. They try to get us with the population control. I say if you want to control the population, start with yourself. Don't mess with us. Not just beef, chicken. Do you remember Dolph Lundgren out of Rocky, the Russian? Well, did a documentary not so long ago, and he said he wonders if the steroids. Yeah, yeah, he did an interview, and I'm a big Dolph Lundgren guy. Dude, Dolph Lundgren, no joke, looks exactly like my dad. I'm not kidding. My dad was Swedish and German. Exactly, man. He looked so much like my dad. I showed a picture of Dolph Lundgren to my mom. She thought it was my dad. They got that Swedish jawline, man. Dragon Lake says, yeah, I didn't even know Dolph was on steroids till he admitted it. I had his workout tape. It's on YouTube. It's called Maximum Potential. Came out when I was like 13 or 12. I always liked Dolph Lundgren, man. He just got such presence. Do you remember Domino's Pizza video game? Nah, they had a video game? Was that for Sega? Stallion says I meant to add he had lots of tumors. Yeah, he did. Yeah, yeah. I was praying for Dolph. Stallion says, "Wow." Bon Scott says, "I thought you looked like you had some Lebanese heritage." No, my dad was Caucasian. He was German and Swedish, but he grew up in Chicago. And my mom is black. Yeah, grew up in California and Oregon. Yeah, Sly got him on them for Rocky Five. He trained with Sly. They still have beef today. Yeah, Sly and you mean Rocky Four? But yeah, Sly and Dolph kind of got into it because they were supposed to do a Drago spinoff, and they didn't even notify Stallone about it. I did a video about that. Stallone doesn't even have the rights to his own Rocky movies. Can you believe that? That's some crazy stuff. You write the movies and you don't even have the rights. Oh, it's Sega. Dragon Lake says Sega or Nintendo, I think. Do I speak German? No, unfortunately I don't. But I dated a girl from Germany. Didn't Dolph break Stallone's ribs? He hit him in the heart, and they said they had to stop filming for a while because they said Stallone's internal organs were swelling up like he'd been in a car crash. That's how hard Dolph hit him. He was even being rough with Carl Weathers in the fight scene, and Carl Weathers, he wasn't too happy about it, but they squashed all that. Dolph was doing steroid. Oh yeah, remember the injections? He then lifted a ton of weight over his head. I think they cut out the steroid scene in Rocky versus Drago director's cut. I think they cut out the scene with the steroids. Sylvester Stallone isn't natural either. Yeah, I think he says he was on something that was just natural. He said, I don't know. I love Stallone though. Go check out Tulsa King. I like that show. His reality show doesn't quite do it for me for what I saw, but Tulsa King was pretty interesting. Stallion says, yeah, he didn't like the Creed movie with the Russian son of his. I thought it was silly. I just thought they should have showed more of Dolph because they had a fight scene with Rocky and Ivan Drago in the hospital. They cut it out, but it's not on the deleted scenes on Blu-ray. You can go on YouTube and catch it though. Looks like my camera's about to tap out though, so I'm gonna hit you guys back later. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming in, Stallion, Bon Scott, King Slender, all y'all, Linda Sapicha, Puro, everybody that came in. Might go live tonight if I can find out where the Viking Samurai fight is, y'all. Look at these quick jabs here before I go. LSR forever. Oh yeah, Arnold worked out with Arnold and Franco Colombo, most definitely. Rick Drayson, who was my friend, he worked out with Arnold. He was Arnold's training buddy. Rick Drayson passed away not too long ago, but had a great platform on YouTube. Great interviews. Keep it moving. Creed 5 coming soon. Yeah, I like the one with Jonathan Majors. Keep your head up, Jonathan Majors. We know you didn't do nothing. King Slender. I can't charge my camera from where it's at, or I keep talking. It's too far away that I don't have a long cord. Franco Beast Rocky fell out with. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Didn't like Franco's yogurt diet. I didn't know you said he didn't agree with this guy, made him bloated up. Wow. Yeah, man, them dudes used to train, didn't they? They took roids back then, but not like they do today. Now them dudes be the size of gorillas, man. But anyway, let me get off here before my camera goes out. Thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll go live tonight with the Viking Samurai fight. LSR forever. Thanks for watching. Stallion, everybody. King Slender. Be fearless. LSR forever, like I said. And I'm out.